Hey kids, welcome to Podcation, the stay-at-home podcast for the Staycation band, made just for all those stay-at-home kids, for the in-between moments of life, in between events and all that stuff we call living, because that's why we make this entertainment, is because, when we have stuff in between, little quiet moments, the time in between songs, when you're listening on your playlist on, Spotify. Those are the moments where you have to catch up. You have to say to yourself, damn, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome. I'll be your host today, Dixon, leader of Staycation, the band. I play bass guitar live, and I sing live, and I play guitar on the recordings, as well as I program and sometimes play MIDI drums, which we have gotten something a little bit lower than the highest ovations for. People don't like the MIDI drums, which I understand, but they're bad. They're bad. That's fine. I'm recording the whole thing out of my laptop through GarageBand and a $40 audio interface that I got, and a microphone, like a plug-in aux cord, and then I have a MIDI cable for the drums. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep things organic, but in order to actually make it happen, I had to cut my losses, do some sacrifices. And I don't know if anyone out there who knows anything about recording or just could fathom it, it takes a lot to make one thing sound good when you have a straightforward thing like bass guitar. I plug it in and then I play. That's easy. But there can still be a struggle to making that sound good. But then you have drums. You gotta handle your overheads and the bass kick and the snare and balance it out and make sure it sounds good. I'm sorry. No. This is my first album ever. You think I'm gonna try and mess with the behemoth monster that is drums? You must be insane. You must be insane. You listening now. I don't know why I'm accusing you, whoever might be listening to this, for having done nothing. So today's guest is me. I'm driving to the UPS store to drop off. Oh, I need directions. Also, my phone's gonna die. Oh no. So basically what I've learned through this recording process, it's hard to make things sound good, but with different levels of quality recording devices, but if everything you have is mid-level to shitty and quality, then all your sound at least sounds the same, which sounds good, which I think why MIDI drums sound so bad, because they have a really pure, quote-unquote pure audio sample rate thing, because it's all digitized, right? You hear that and you're just okay, cool, on its own. They're not awful drum sounds on their own, I don't think. I don't have the ear for such things, but I don't think they're awful drum sounds. I think the trouble comes in when you try and mix it with other things that are just you're recording off GarageBand, do the EQ the best you can, throw on some sort of compression and mess with the knobs that you don't know what do, and then bada bing bada boom, but if you have this digital instrument in there that sounds so starkly different, then it's gonna put a damper on things. But I think it's fine. To be honest, they don't bother me so much. I mean, I ain't the first band to use MIDI drums on a track for the sake of simplicity. But that's been fun. Another big thing I've learned. I'm gonna die. My phone's gonna die. Another big thing I've learned is vocals for recording purposes. You gotta think so entirely differently from the way you think about anything else, when you're thinking singing, because I did musical theater throughout high school, and a lot of my learning how to do that came down to, where's the UPS store? Those are shoes falling. But like, because a lot of it's like, oh, you have to have sustainable singing that you could do like, 8 shows a week on the same voice style. And what I found is in recording, you have to like so much exaggerate your voice, I think. Okay, so to draw more parallels, acting on stage, you go bigger because like the audience is far away, and then on film, a lot of times like you take things down a notch so that they look more natural because like you have like the close-ups or whatever. And like that's a very important part of looking good on film is taking things back, and that's why a lot of like actors from the stage won't necessarily transition so well on the film, and vice versa. It's because there's just like a different art to doing the same thing, right? And I think it's weird. It's like weirdly the opposite I found in recording, because for me, like when I perform live, it sounds fine and it's like whatever. But when I try to like do the same way that I sing live, like in the sustainable way that's like nice on your voice, on recording it just sounds like monotone and like crap. And like a lot of people will say like about people when they're singing, they're like, oh, that sounds like musical theater, like you sound like you're musical theater singing. What I actually think is it a little more closer to like what it sounds like to like a chorus singer singing. Did it die? No, it didn't. But like to me, like, just go crazy with your vocals and put a lot of character and expression in your voice, because the recording quality alone will just take out like half of it. Because you have to like, it's weird. Maybe I'm EQing everything wrong. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing. But when you throw it in there, it's good. I'd sooner alienate people with a voice that's weird and unique that I like to do and sounds fun, than try to make people happy, because there's so much like bullshit artist out there making like really appetizing and aimable tracks and like have voices that are like nice or whatever, and it's like whatever, like we get it, there's enough of that. I'd rather be the artist out here trying his best to do something that sounds fun and unique that some people would absolutely love. If some people absolutely love what I'm doing and other people don't really care, that's better than like everyone being like, hey, that guy's alright at singing. You know what I'm saying? This isn't the UPS store. God. Well, darn. Alright, so that's it for episode 1 of Podcation. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna turn it off now so I can find where I'm supposed to be. Bye.